SharkyBreath.
He plays video games.
Hello and welcome back to Disco Elysium. Okay, so we're going to try to take on the responsibility today, which that was an amazing French pronunciation, I know. Two things before we get going. Number one, it occurs to me, I keep defaulting to these poor lum laborer genes, which are a plus to electrochemistry and a minus to reaction speed. The thing is, I don't like electrochemistry much. Whenever electrochemistry speaks up, I tend to be very derisive of it. So I'm not sure why I keep putting them on. I guess because I'm just a habitual genes wearer myself. Technically, I could switch to the Royal Carabiner pants and have just a plus to reaction speed at all times with no negative. That's probably the thing to do. I don't know. Wearing them makes me feel a little silly. But maybe, given all the other things I'm wearing, nothing should make me feel silly anymore. I wonder where I got the knee-high socks. I guess they just come with the carabiner pants, huh? Well, in any case, I should probably do that. Number two, I have 3 skill points, which means I can probably afford to switch something out in my thought cabinet. And here's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking we do away with Superstar Cop. Because, number one, I never choose the options. Number two, and most primarily, the only benefits for it are raising these 4 stats to 6. Their cap to 6, you know? And if you may, as you may note, it's visual calculus, suggestion, electrochemistry, composure. Visual calculus, suggestion, electrochemistry, composure. Of those 4, I've only put 1 skill point in composure, and even without Superstar Cop, my limit is still 4, so I have 3 left that I could put into it. Basically, what I'm trying to say here is, I have no reason to raise the limits that high, because I'm never going to have enough skill points to actually fill them up. So I think, particularly with my fixation on getting every thought researched, you know, I think I can safely get rid of Superstar Cop. Plus, I'll get a logic back. And I mean, I got plenty of logic. That's not really a big problem. But I do want to finish out Call to Mamadakwa and just run around town with ridiculous perception and see what I notice, you know? You know? It just seems like that would be a good thing to do. It seems like it would be interesting to see what crops up. Just, you know, the things that you can notice if you are paying that much attention. I also want to do the hardcore aesthetic, and that is a nice fast one. The question is, am I going to need interfacing in order to take on the responsibility? I have no idea. Of course, I can always pause it if it comes down to it, as long as I'm not stuck in some situation where I can't back out, you know? Hey, the rain stopped for some reason. Convenient. In any case, I don't know if this is a good idea that I keep spending my 3rd skill point whenever I get it, but I'm going to do it anyway. So there, I'm no longer a superstar. I never really was, and it's fine. It's great, in fact. Okay, so the question is, do we go hardcore aesthetic, because we can knock it out quickly, and just hope I get enough experience from taking on the responsibility that I get another skill point? And maybe think about switching out Arno Van Eyck after I've had a look around town and looked at the posters. I didn't register at all that the whole point is, once you've realized that Arno Van Eyck was a local, you find all the posters that are like, yeah, he was here. I didn't even make the connection. I don't know why. My brain just wasn't working recently, I guess. I don't know what to tell you. Okay, in any case, I guess the hardcore aesthetic. Try and knock out the interfacing deficit while I think it's not going to matter too much, because I'm fairly certain that interfacing is going to come up, because meta-knowledge, fair weather, this thing, I'm going to get attacked by people in armor eventually. Right. So let's just get the hardcore aesthetic researched. All right, here we go. Great. Research is maybe not the right way to put it, but I guess that's the way they refer to it, so it's fine. I have their approval. Okay, I need to get out of the dock. So, let me get out of the dock, okay? Hang on. Okay, so our primary order of business is taking the synthesizer back to the church. And, getting that antenna rolling, yeah? That's the plan. The question is, am I going to have to be installing the antenna? In which case, am I going to need that, interfacing? Who knows? But there is one thing I want to check real quick on before going anywhere. The other thing that was mentioned was that there is a possibility of getting a synthesizer out of a radio computer. Although it was specifically mentioned that you need to be an engineer in order to accomplish that. But Harry's never let that sort of thing stop him before, so I don't know why we would start now, you know? So let me at least just have a look at the radio computer and see if I can make any headway on... Oh, right. It's dark. It's dark. It's dark. Here we go. It's dark. Can't advance into the darkness. It's not how it works. This way. Okay. Yeah, let's just see if I can have any idea of how to remove that synthesizer. Because here's the thing. Nobody's using this thing. And if I can pawn it for parts, I want to.
Tiles on the cube are still small, casting the framework in a soft glow.
Okay, let me just look inside.
It's empty, like a beehive.
This is where the memory should go.
Got it. Okay. So it is not possible for me, with my layman's knowledge, to remove the synthesizer from this computer. Okay, that is perfectly reasonable, perfectly understandable, just fine. Let me get out of this building. All right. Okay. Incidentally, how... No, I'm not wearing... Wait, yes I am. I am wearing my one physical instrument gear piece, aren't I?
The barbell
What's the
waits patiently.
28%? It's such a tiny, tiny chance. Maybe I should try and lift that again before I go to bed tonight, just because I'll heal up immediately afterwards, since I'm absolutely going to injure myself. I'm really sad that the door thought was glitched, by the way, because I would love to have one more chance to talk to Annette and Kuno. I may have already mentioned that. I'm just still really sad about it. It would have been so convenient if all my psyche checks had been unlocked. Okay, I'm going to call into the station and let them know I got my gun back. That's another thing I've been meaning to do.
You see a set of steering levers, a radio microphone.
Okay, pick up the radio.
This is Precinct 57. How may I assist you?
Please connect me to the 41st. I know it's annoying, but I don't have their number.
Right. Please hold.
Thank you, Alice.
10-4, come in. Firewalker, over.
Did I actually refer to myself as Firewalker when I first talked to you, and that's why you have to keep doing that? I'm really sorry. I have successfully located my 9mm Villiers pistol. It's on me now, and I won't lose it again.
10-4, sir. Roger that, and very glad to hear it. I will make relevant changes to the report.
Great, thank you. Okay. Well, I guess I have nothing else to report, so bye!
Roger that. 10-10, over and out.
Close the door. Great. Well, that's done then. Okay, so, with that out of the way, let's get back to the church. Hold up. I want to see if I can pawn the radio chunk that I pulled out. The perfectly adequate... Oh, wait, it doesn't have a price on it. That suggests that I cannot. I guess it's a quest item, huh? All right, well, let's bring the expensive one to the church and go from there. I really hope it doesn't get confused about which one I want to give them. Hopefully there'll be an option for either. Guess we'll find out. Hopefully it doesn't just opt to the most recent one I obtained. Okay. Oh, did I not? Right. I was supposed to look at... A prayer book's left... Oh, I've got a thought about the prayer book being left open now. What's this now? Excerpts from the Paracarnassian Litany of Love. Okay. Sure. Sounds good, I guess. I suppose my encyclopedia is just high enough now that I was able to do that? Able to identify that? It seems likely. Okay, so now I need to talk to Noid, correct? Hey, Noid.
Yo, man. What's on your mind?
I found a radio transceiver. I found two of them, in fact.
So your cop ways came through again. Impressive. Let's see what you got.
There we go. I got this beauty down at the pawn shop. Used the highly expensive transceiver. I found this in an office by the harbor. Used the perfectly adequate transceiver. Noid's not going to be impressed with my money ways. My money, what is it, money lord? My money lord ways. But I'm in a competition right now. I cannot back down. The highly expensive transceiver. Here we go.
Didn't know cops made that kind of loot, huh? This is a brilliant piece of equipment. Maybe even too brilliant. Feels out of step with our old operation.
You think so? Really? Continue.
He wants to keep it at a distance. He's afraid of what powers are contained therein.
I mean, I suppose that's fair. It is a powerful piece of equipment, but, like, I don't know. I thought it was a good one. Continue.
All right, Lawfarer, we're ready to do this.
Lawfarer.
I have to warn you, though. Once we commit, there's no stopping until we've seen it all the way through. No pauses, no second chances. This is our shot. You got it?
No kidding. Are you suggesting that I should quick save before this, then? Also, do you have any idea what kind of, like, outfit I should be wearing to this particular occasion? Would it be helpful if I paused my minus to interfacing thought?
So any cop prep you gotta do, you do it now. We'll wait if we have to.
Okay. Wait, didn't you say we need some kind of power supply? Let me go ahead and ask that first.
Don't sweat that. Egg found something down near the waterlock. Some maniac abandoned a perfectly good power source.
Would that be my car, by any chance? Continue.
That maniac is obviously you, which makes the power source your half-sunken Caprice 40.
You mean the motor carriage that I crashed into the bay? Ah, well, as long as it works, I don't need to know the details. No, full disclosure, let's do it.
That explains why it was covered in cop colours. Whole thing's totaled. But lucky for us, the engine on the back is still perfectly good.
Isn't that convenient? Continue.
All I have to do is run a cable from the engine up the Centaur Man's Memorial.
Centaur
It
Man.
won't last forever, but it should buy us enough time to get you synced up with a big bang.
Okay. What kind of cop prep do I need to do?
How should I know? It's up to everyone to know their own needs. Whatever keeps your body and soul in top working condition.
Are you suggesting that I should heal up this physical damage before I get into this? Continue.
At the very least, you should make sure you're wearing a good pair of gloves.
Okay, so that's an interfacing thing. Got it. Okay, continue. Thank you.
Personally, I'm gonna make sure I've got a steady supply of prep tired handy.
Got it. Okay. Yeah, I should get some things in order first.
Do what you have to do. We're not going anywhere.
Great. Got it. Thank you.
Hardcore church! Nowhere else to go!
You can't really go any higher than this. It's true. This is as good as it gets. Continue.
Like Egg said.
Uh-huh. Okay, take care, Noid. Right, so, interfacing, probably. Now, I'm pretty sure the only interfacing gear I've got is my gloves, but I've got that minus from thoughts. So, we're going back in here. We're pausing the hardcore aesthetic research. Stop. I'm going to go ahead and start up Koldomama Dakwa again, because I'm guessing this is going to take some time, and I may as well be working on something. All right. Great. Now then. Now I just need to remember not to leave that running the entire time, which may wind up happening. I don't know. Do I think I'm going to need authority? If I'm trying to take on the responsibility, maybe? But that's going to be after we do the setup. It's hard to know what I'm going to need in the future. Okay. Empathy, but minus logic. Do I just want to keep my standard encyclopedia gear on? I don't know how much empathy is going to be necessary here. I mean, it is the... Okay. It is the stat that's associated with moderates, with the moral intern, with moralists. So maybe it would be good to have some? Maybe I should focus on it a bit more? I'm not sure. I mean, I've got most of my empathy gear on right now. The main thing is that my authority is quite poor. My encyclopedia is okay. My interfacing is decent. I'm pretty sure there's nothing else I've got that... Oh, never mind. No, that's not true. That's not true. I've got... I don't have anything else that increases your interfacing, right? Right? I'm pretty sure about that. Okay. In which case, I think... we drop a quick save just in case of absolute total disaster. Although I don't intend to use it unless I absolutely have to. Like so. Hate gate mate date. No room for the fake flake. Chicken chaser night cake. Sure, whatever you say, Egg.
Yeah,
Anyway.
Hey, what's on your mind?
Okay, now I'm ready. Let's contact Archer. Here we go.
Rest of the crew has got to stay here. Can't afford to let the beat drop right as we're getting off the ground.
That is fair. He gives you a solemn nod. Okay, Noid. So it's just you and us. Got it. Continue.
Much love to my hardcore antenna brothers!
Thanks for the support, Egg. Okay, continue.
Good luck, guys.
Thanks.
Try to squeeze in a promo spot while you're on air. We've got to start putting the word out.
I'll bear it in mind. Thanks, Andre.
Back across the water now. At least we are getting our exercise in today.
Today and every day, Kim. You know how we do. Continue.
You can grab that amplifier, officer. And you start spooling up those cables. Maybe we can get it all in one go.
Oh, because we're really getting our exercise in. Got it. He gestures to the lieutenant, incidentally. Continue. And here we go. Trundle our way across town. Loaded to the gills with sound equipment. Look at that. No, it's efficient. I wonder how much time has passed. Guess we'll find out. It all looks very safe and reliable. They've actually daisy-chained it through a tire. Amazing. How do we string it across the waterlock? Okay, and there's a sparking power plug there. Good, good. Power strip, I guess, is the word for it. We're going to burn down the city. There's a rug there. Why is there a rug there, even? Okay. And look at that. Noid's climbed up there and everything. What is that tool he's using? You look like the Crab Man right now. Continue.
Just plug that in there, would ya?
Plug what in? Okay, continue.
It's done. I believe we are ready.
The lieutenant wipes his brow. And it's been, I want to say, an hour? Continue.
Yeah, as ready as we're gonna be. Grab one of these can sets, both of ya. I've got it rigged so that we can all listen, but only your cop talk will broadcast.
Convenient. He cracks his neck before putting on a pair of headphones. Okay, continue.
No idea what we're gonna hear when I turn this thing on, so be prepared for anything. Trick is to keep transmitting your request until the big bad acknowledges ya. You got that?
Huh, okay. Wait, what if they never acknowledge me? Yes, hold on, I need a minute. What if they never acknowledge me?
Honestly, that might be for the best. Like I said, the signs coming off this whole project are seriously uncharted.
Right, continue.
Don't know how much juice we've got, so we better get to it. You ready?
Yep, I'm ready.
Good. We're live in 2, 1.
Continue. Horseback antenna. Here we go.
A soft rustling. The snow seems to have gotten between your ears somehow.
Where's the sound coming from? Ignore it. Where's the sound coming from? I've just learned that the Shivers is the city. Do not ignore the city. Where's the sound coming from?
Every light switch, every motor carriage, every doorbell, tea kettle, and radio in Martinez, all mingled with electrical interference caused by scattered thunderstorms over Ozone.
How on earth did they have so much cabling that they could string together all the motor carriages and all this daisy chaining? They just have so much stuff. It's very convenient. I'm sorry, I was distracted, Shivers. Right, we're listening to everything at the same time. Cool. Well, it seems like a place to start. Continue.
Hey, no man, we're waiting on ya.
What should I say? Coalition Warship Archer, this is RCM Officer Firewalker, please acknowledge. Coalition Warship Archer, this is RCM Officer Tequila Sunset, please acknowledge. Coalition Warship Archer, this is Lieutenant Harrier Dubois of the RCM, please acknowledge. I did go to great lengths to get my name back. If they're going to acknowledge me, they're probably only going to do it if I be all official about it, right? Well, let's see what Noid would recommend that I say. Probably going to be like, this is your business, how should I know? But let's just hear it from him.
That's up to you. I don't know your call sign.
My call sign. I don't even remember where... Firewalker is what I call myself with the, with the department, obviously. I apparently just did that. I don't even remember doing it, but Tequila Sunset, that's my story with the drunkards, sure. I think I'm just going to use my full name, which is maybe a bit boring, but again, we're talking to the government, and, you know, they're the peak of boring, at least if you're trying to approach them from the outside, so let's just start here. Time is passing. Noises are happening.
You're all alone out there, wandering a blasted heath, calling out to the night. But there is no reply, except for the buzzing of invisible machines.
Invisible machines. Great, continue.
The lieutenant looks up at you with a nervous glance.
I guess he is somewhat shorter than me. I didn't really think about it. Continue.
Nervous? For who, though? You cannot say.
I have failed my esprit de corps check. Huh. Continue.
Give it another go.
Coalition Warship Archer, this is Lieutenant Dubois. Please acknowledge. Continue.
Perhaps you're simply imagining it, but it seems as though you're learning to pull apart the fibers of this auditory felt. You focus on one strand in particular, one that sounds very nearly human.
Okay. Wow, I just barely passed that check. Continue.
Nein, Liebling, das lasse ich nicht zu. Die kannst du unseren Jungen bloß auf einen dieser Dinger nach Bredefort schicken.
I can't speak German. I probably will translate that and maybe put it on the screen to see what it says. Hello, Archer? Do you acknowledge?
Marianne, mir erzählt, dass Oscar nicht mehr, seit er auf einem Luftschiff aus Graz zurückgekommen ist. Halten ihn die Psychologen für vollkommen normal. Aber sie hat das Gefühl, seit seiner Rückkehr mit einem Fremden zusammenzuleben.
Wow, it's like dimensional German even. Continue.
Something about her son going to Vredefort on an aerostatic to see some psychologists. Or maybe the psychologists are saying it's normal to have feelings for strangers. Foreign languages were never your strong suit.
Fair. What does this remind me of? What's going on? Keep listening. What does it remind me of?
The rustling of dry autumn leaves, waves breaking at a distance, 1,000 wings beating at once.
Okay. I don't know if there's any point in interjecting here. Do I just keep listening? Do I try and continue calling out? That was what I was supposed to be doing here. I've made contact with something, but I don't know that the someone, I guess. But someone, I don't know that the someone has actually heard me. Theoretically, we're transmitting. But she didn't respond when I spoke up in the middle there. I should keep trying to talk. What's going on?
Liebling, bitte. Ist unser einziges Kind. Kann doch auch nächstes Jahr zur Akademie gehen.
Academy? It sounds like she's talking to her child. I mean, I guess that's what it sounded like before. But... yeah. This is please, and this is like a pet name for a child, right? I think. But I can't understand the rest of it. Continue.
Just radio spookers. We get them all the time round here. Keep trying.
Okay, if you say so, Noid. Coalition Warship Archer, this is Lieutenant Dubois. If you're there, Archer, please acknowledge. Doesn't seem to be working so far.
Again.
Okay, Coalition Warship Archer, this is Lieutenant Dubois. Do you acknowledge?
It's gone now.
Kim? That was through the radio. What? Continue.
A slight frisson at the point where your neck meets your spine. Something about the lieutenant's words directed at you, but not you.
Kim, don't clog my connection. It's really coming down now that you mention it. I suspect that he thought that, and I heard his thoughts? I'm going to just respond as if he was speaking to me and see what he does. It's really coming down now that you mention it.
Mention what?
It's cold, like you just said.
I didn't say anything, Detective.
Right. Of course you didn't. But did you at least hear that through the headphones? You're supposed to be able to hear everything I do, right? Continue?
Someone has been maintaining it. The wiring has been repaired.
Wait. Is this... That feels like something that he said in the past. I don't remember exactly when. The wiring has been repaired. Continue.
An uncomfortable silence falls over the connection.
Continue?
It's been a long winter. Long and cold.
Are you going to tell me you didn't say that either? Maybe it's your twin brother? Do I want to introduce this concept of a twin brother? I kinda do.
I can assure you it's not my twin brother, though it certainly does sound like me.
The lieutenant seems to wince at the sound of his own voice. I mean, I feel like that's a common experience. Usually if you're not listening to your own self-talk, then it's really unpleasant hearing yourself speak. It's so different on the outside of your head, you know. What's happening?
Sounds like your partner's being haunted by his past self. Maybe he's trying to warn himself. From the future, most like. I don't know much about radios.
You seem to be taking this all very much in stride there, Noid. Okay. Warning yourself, but from the past or the future. Sure. What do you have to say to that, Kim? I'm sure you believe it wholeheartedly.
It's just a little bit of pale interference, Detective. A little eerie, perhaps, but perfectly explicable.
Is it? Because I'm pretty sure that stuff about it being a long and cold winter were things that you haven't said out loud to me so far in this game. Continue.
Outwardly, The lieutenant exudes reassurance, but you can sense a lingering doubt in his voice.
He's police. It's part of his job to sound confident even when he's not. Continue.
Natürlich halten ihn die Psychologen für vollkommen normal.
Roy said this transceiver came with some sort of signal purifier. Maybe we should turn that on? Maybe we should try again later, so what can we do about it? I feel like if the thing where I spent $120 is ever going to have a benefit, then maybe this is it? The problem is that maybe the signal purifier will ruin the entire experiment. But I have no way of knowing that unless we try and turn it on. And hopefully, even if we turn it on and it's bad, we can turn it off? Maybe? Let's try it.
Is that what this switch does? I'll flip it now.
You do that. Continue.
Someone has been maintaining it.
The lieutenant's voice suddenly grows faint and distant, as though he were speaking from a passing motor carriage. Okay, so we're filtering out other Kim. Apparently other Kim was looping also, so maybe that's an okay thing? Continue?
Sounds like the de-spooker worked. Lucky break. Now give it another go.
We're just going to pretend that didn't happen. Great. Coalition warship Archer, do you acknowledge this is Lieutenant Dubois? They really don't want to talk to me, which is understandable, but I technically work for them, sort of. Continue.
Warship Archer. Are you there, Lieutenant Dubois? Please acknowledge.
We got them. We got them. Okay, Archer, this is Lieutenant Dubois. Can you hear me? Continue.
Bad news. Even with the de-spooker flipped, the signal is still too weak to get down with.
The speed freak removes his sweat-drenched headphones. Well, then what can we do?
Don't know. If we can't get around the interference, we're in deep trouble. Hold on. I think Egg gave me some sort of checklist.
Okay, well, what's Egg got to say about this?
Says here, main step, volume to the max. That's not too helpful.
Not really.
Okay. It also says, inspect connections for hardcore clarity. So let's try that.
Sure. I wish you were doing his voice, though. That would have been funnier. How am I supposed to inspect the connections, though?
My guess, you climb up the Centaur, man. See if there's anything obviously interfering with them. Maybe you've got some technical law science.
Sure. I was actually wondering, given that the loading screen for this game, that the menu screen is in fact Harry on top of this statue. I was wondering if that's where we were going with all this, but okay. Great. Climb up there. No problem. Continue.
This isn't exactly your area of expertise, though.
Not really, but who else we got in the area to do it? Continue.
Someone has been maintaining it.
Kim, your ghost self is back.
Something about this setup seems dimly familiar, but you'll be damned if you know what you're supposed to do about it.
Challenging 12. I couldn't even have gotten that if I am in my physical instrument gear. I still got the t-shirt on. I think there's no way I could have made that one. Continue.
Images of your body smashed against the pavement flood your mind. This is dangerous.
I would imagine it is. I'm pretty resilient, though, so maybe it'll be okay. But I don't know what I'm doing. But what if I slip and fall? Okay, let's do this. Climb the monument. I could almost see jumping into it without hesitation being a advantageous thing to do here. Particularly given my physical instrument has failed me and my Inland Empire is not failing and is instead imagining how it could go wrong. But the only thing I've ever been able to do in the past to prepare for this sort of thing is think about it and try and come up with solutions. So I guess let's go through the options. What if I don't... but I don't know what I'm doing.
It's gotta be you. I'm manning the decks down here.
Well, what if I fall?
Maybe you break an arm. Maybe you break your neck. Could go either way. Honestly.
Well, thanks for your candor there, Noid.
But that's what the Invalids Fund is for. So don't worry about it for now.
That's sure a way to approach this. Okay, let's do this. I have no other choice. Climb the monument. Up I go. In my armored gloves. I'm glad it's not making me do any checks right now. I'm moving with more confidence than I feel like I would have in the same situation. the worst part and then have to make a check and possibly fall and break my neck?
Your gloves give you a solid
exactly
grip
what's happening.
on the metal bar. This feels pleasingly familiar.
Does it? Well, that's good. Continue.
You don't exactly cut a lithesome figure, but after several moments of scrambling, you manage to hoist yourself atop the monument.
I wonder if I genuinely would have failed if I hadn't put on gloves. I mean, I had gloves on in the first place, but you know what I mean. That was the one thing it warned me about, was wear gloves. And now we're straddling that arm. Or maybe not. We just sort of phased through the arm. It's fine. We're good. I'm up. It's dark. Continue.
That performance
Ow.
was frankly an embarrassment.
That was pretty bad. I hope nobody saw it. Examine the connections. I'm gonna go ahead and say it.
You're doing all right, detective. Just keep your focus on the task at hand.
You know what? That's fine. Sounds good. Examine the connections.
The connection itself is nothing more than a little braid of exposed wire wrapped about the hoof of the horse. A copper fetter, it cannot slip.
Okay. All right. Continue.
The whole monument is covered in a thin but durable layer of oil and grime. It's obvious no one has cleaned it in years.
I suppose that may be what's causing the interference. Continue.
Well, what's it look like?
Weird that Noid's talking to me through the headphones where Kim just spoke to me normally. The whole statue's covered in weird oils. I don't think it's good for the connections. The connections look fine to me. Weird oils, I guess.
That's not good. We should have cleaned the centaur man first. Pretty rude that we didn't.
That's a fair point, but I don't know that we have, like, a hose or something like that to do the job with. Continue.
Hang on. I'm looking at Egg's checklist. He says, if all fails, bend antenna. Narrow is the hardcore way. Does that make any sense to you?
Not really, to be honest with you. Bend the antenna narrow. Okay. What are we supposed to use to bend the antenna? What good is that supposed to do? I do have tools. I didn't bring them with me up here. Is that going to matter? I can't access my items. What are we going to use?
It says here, muscle style.
Because I'm so good at that. What good is that supposed to do?
Good question. Maybe he's saying we're casting too wide a net. Gotta narrow our receiving band so we pick up the big bad without the spookers.
Right. Okay. Got it. Continue.
Since you're already up there, I say you should do it.
A shocker. I would not have expected. Continue.
The speed freak is right. The responsibility is yours and yours alone. There's no turning back now.
Great. Okay. That was empathy that said that, interestingly. Okay. We got look at Philippe III, look up the horse, look up, look down, interfacing godly 16, attempt to narrow the receiving mode manually. +1 solid grip, +2 signal purifier engaged, +1 eye for sculpture. Art cop, coming in handy yet again. I'm thinking looking down is probably going to be a bad thing, but let's look at Philippe III first.
You are face to face with Philip III. The Bronze King looks toward the west. Something about his features seems bizarrely distorted.
Interesting, but we're not going to go into that, huh? Apparently not. Well, look at the horse.
This faithful steed is in nearly as poor a condition as its rider.
Right. Okay, well, look up.
A clear sky. The kind of day where anything might happen.
And hopefully will. Continue.
Across the river, you can see Coalition warship Archer tracing its gradual circuit above Revachol East.
Right. None of that made any difference to the check. I'm guessing if I look down, I'm going to get a penalty here. But I also hate leaving options unexplored unless they're obviously stupid. Now, admittedly, I'm standing at heights. Looking down might be obviously stupid, but I get the impression that maybe Harry isn't afraid of heights. Wait a second. Wait a second. When trying to make a 6-foot jump, he stumbled at the edge and wrenched his leg because of heights, wasn't it? I failed the savoir-faire thing, yes, but effectively it was because of heights. Do we just go for it without looking down? I'm doing it.
A few of the idle lorry drivers and strikebreakers gesture at you with their cigarettes, more out of curiosity than anything else. From the window of one of the adjacent apartment buildings, an older woman leans out, her heavy breasts sagging.
Uh-huh, continue.
She yells a single word you can't make out, and then shuts the window with a violent thunk.
Huh, I wonder what she said. Either way, no penalty. No benefit, no penalty. It's just me and the antenna. Okay. It's not going to get much better than this, so let's just do it. Attempt to narrow the receiving mode manually. Yes! Oh! That's one way to do it. I'm just bending the entire horse head? I'm pointing it at the warship. That's my antenna, is the horse's face.
Is firm, yet controlled. The swelling in your headset guides your hands as much as your hands guide the bronze horse head. It's almost like you're hearing through the horse itself.
Because essentially that's what I'm doing. Continue.
Looks like it's working. Keep going. Just a bit more.
We're not there yet? Okay, continue.
Nein, Liebling.
Okay, the German voice is back. Continue.
The signal is clear. The storm has passed. This is another voice, a live voice on the other end of this invisible bridge you've established.
Okay, continue.
Try it now.
Got it. Coalition Warship Archer, this is Lieutenant Dubois of the RCM. Please acknowledge. Suddenly I can see up here. It's no longer cast in shadow for whatever reason. And I'm very, very high up and not holding on to anything. But apparently that's okay. Continue.
Lieutenant Dubois, this is Coalition Warship Archer. We are acknowledging and accepting it.
Your icon is weird, Coalition Warship Archer. It looks like your face is being stretched amongst 4 mounting posts. 5 even. 6 even. 8? Lots of mounting posts. Either that or this could be a targeting reticle pointed at you. Not sure what to make of it. Anyway, hi! Continue.
There it is. The big bad. Now be quick. I'll keep us alive as long as I can.
Okay, continue.
There is so much you wish you could ask. Your efforts have bought you some time, but you can't forget what you're really here for.
As much as it's a purpose, the responsibility, like, it's... I know that's what I'm here for, but... does it actually have a purpose? Continue.
Please be advised that you are speaking on a public frequency. What is your request?
Who am I speaking with? What does Revachol look like from up there? What does the moral intern really want? When is real democracy coming to Revachol? Listen, I need to reach the Committee of Responsibility Proceed. Okay. Noid wants me to keep it quick, but I have some other options. Oh, what do we do? I so want to choose all these things, but I'm guessing I can't choose all of them. We'll lose the signal if I dawdle too long. I don't know if that's true or not, but they've set it up so that it seems that way, so maybe I should pay attention. Who am I speaking with is fairly irrelevant. Maybe. It might be relevant if I had any chance of getting a real answer, but I suspect that I'm not going to. Don't imagine that they're in the habit of giving out their identities to random callers in, even if it is ostensibly a representative of the local branch of them. Do I even ask? Am I going to hesitate like this on every single step? You bet I am! This might be important, but I can't imagine she's going to have an answer for me. This is important, but I can't imagine she's going to have an answer for me. Do I skip to the end? I don't think so. Let's test the waters first. Let's see if she'll answer me if I ask who I'm speaking with.
You are currently speaking with Coalition Warship Archer, flagship of Insurgent forces in Revachol.
Are you the captain? Whoa, the Coalition has talking warships? Sure, but who are you? I need to know your name. Are you the captain?
No. The captain of the Archer is deeply classified intelligence. We are the second signaler.
Sure, that makes sense. Who are you, though? I need to know your name, apparently.
Our name is not important. All you need to know is that we hold the position of second signaler aboard the yacht.
And that's all the information I'm going to get out of you. I kind of figured that would be the case. Continue.
You really don't have the faintest guess what her name could be. You were never very good at this sort of thing.
Inland Empire, not my strong suit, unfortunately. Continue.
There's something in the way she refers to herself, always with the first person plural. A deliberate blurring of the boundary between herself and the institution she represents.
Yeah, that does seem to be what she's going for. Just one thing, why do you keep referring to yourself with the plural? What's it like being a second signaler? Let's start here.
Because it's standard practice for signalers to use the pluralis officialis during the course of our duties. It's meant to serve as a reminder that we don't speak only for ourselves.
Just like my rhetoric suspected then. Continue.
For instance, as second signaler, we represent Coalition Mercy Parter, which in turn represents Insurcom and the Coalition more generally, which in turn represents the Moralist International, which itself represents the interests of 1.2 billion people across the world.
Okay, continue.
Meaning, she's the voice of all those living souls.
So when I'm talking to you, it's like I'm talking to all of humanity? Sounds like a kind of a hard job. That sounds like an awesome responsibility. Probably one of these options is here because of Inland Empire, and I'm guessing it's probably this top one. Which is probably the most interesting way to respond. This ties directly into the Committee of Responsibility, but... Sure, Inland Empire, let's do it.
No, of course not. There are many nations outside the Moral Inter's umbrella. In Seoul, Samara, and elsewhere. At most, you might say the Moral Inter represents between a quarter and a third of humanity.
A quarter and a third. That's still a significant portion there. Continue.
Perhaps you could say that we represent the interests and hopes of a great many people. But you could say, just as easily, that we are the assistant to the secretary of a factotum. No more remarkable than the lowest cashier of a common fleet.
Huh. You're remarkably self-aware and willing to share this sort of thing. Continue.
It all depends on your perspective.
Who is the secretary? Who is the factotum? We just as easily say that we are the assistant to the secretary of a factotum. Who's the secretary?
The chief signaler, our superior. They are ultimately responsible for all communications aboard the Archer.
I can't help but notice that we're not being brief about this at all. I hope that's okay, Noid. Continue?
But now, we've wandered quite far afield. What was your request?
Right. Okay. We have, in fact, wandered quite far afield. And Noid hasn't warned me or anything. Do I still have time? Up there. They're not really up there, are they? It's not upward, it's outward. It's over there. But maybe they have ways of viewing us from above? I don't know. I don't know what their intel's like. I guess that's why I'd be asking, but they're not going to tell me. I'm really worried about running out the signal. Oh, I'm hoping that Noid will warn me if I get too close to doing that. What does the moral intern really want? She's not going to have an answer that's not filtered heavily. This is a public channel. Of course not. But...
A very important question with a very simple answer. We want humanity to endure.
Okay, continue.
Beyond that, it may be said that we are the inheritors and stewards of Dolores Day's legacy.
Right, and that legacy is?
Immeasurable. It includes intersolar travel, 3 scientific revolutions, humanism, internationalism, the welfare state, and balance of terror theory. Nothing less than the intellectual foundation of our modern order.
I feel like Noid would have a thing or two to say about that, but do continue.
The role of the Moralist International is twofold. To buy humanity sufficient time to perfect itself, and to patiently guide it along the road while protecting it from ideological highwaymen and eschatologists.
Okay. What is this balance of terror theory? In what sense is the moral intern the steward of Dolores Day's legacy? Well, who are the highwaymen and eschatologians that you mentioned? Where does the RCM fit into all this? What awaits us at the end of the road? Okay. Maybe it's not actually going to limit me on my time spent on this, in which case I want to hear everything. What is this balance of terror theory?
It's an elegant idea. One of the cornerstones of the modern era. In short, it holds that durable, lasting peace is possible when the major powers are capable of inflicting unacceptable and irreversible destruction upon one another.
That sounds awfully familiar. Continue.
Because no rational state is willing to accept the risk of such a calamity befalling its own people. All powers are incentivized to de-escalate conflicts before they reach the point of no return.
And has it worked? But what if states aren't rational? That's a very relevant question, that one. I mean, in terms of has it worked? It didn't work here, did it? Or was that... That was before our occupation. The revolution was before the occupation, obviously. The occupation happened because of the revolution, but... incentivized, but not forced to de-escalate. The bombing, we call it, is what forced the de-escalation. I'm going to ask, what if states aren't rational?
A state is like any other living thing. It wants to survive and grow. A state that doesn't value its own existence is not a state at all.
That's an interesting way to view it. You view states as living things, but if it doesn't value its own existence, it's not a state. And therefore can be treated as not a living thing? That's what it sounds like you're saying. In what sense is the moral intern the steward of Dolores Day's legacy?
It was established by many of the same founding party members who elected Dolores Day, and who, after her assassination, dedicated their lives to the continuation of their political and intellectual projects.
Do you have to field this kind of question a lot? You seem used to it. Continue.
The other members of the founding party moved to Sur la Clé and invented modern corporate finance. Their names may still be found on the pediments of some of the largest investment banks in the world.
Sure, that tracks. Tell me about the highwaymen and eschatologians. Eschatologians, yes.
There are many. The communists say they are the next dialectical step in an inexorable spiral of progress. They claim to have resolved the inherent contradictions of moralism, and believe they're just one revolution away from establishing a humanist paradise.
Okay. Continue.
The fascists say they are both the ancestors of and the successors to Doloreanism. In other words, they believe that Dolores Day's reign simply represents a glorious phase of expansion within a greater Franco-Nigerian heritage. They criticize the DeLorean project for accepting and integrating new peoples rather than forcefully subjugating them.
That sounds about right. Continue. About right for fascists, I mean. Continue.
And then, there are our prodigal cousins, the Vazan Social Democrats, who hold our same values and have even adopted many of our same rights and iconography, though they persist in rejecting the umbrella of moralism.
Continue.
For some reason, it's the Social Democrats she sounds most exasperated with.
It does seem that way. Why do you resent social democrats more than communists and fascists? Are there non-ideological threats to humanity's future? Let's start with here.
We don't resent them. It's more that we are disappointed that they have chosen to emphasize certain points of dispute over broad areas of accord.
Continue.
She speaks of them like a family member she's abandoned hope of ever maturing.
It does seem that way. Continue.
But of course, they also remain dependable partners in a number of centrist governing coalitions.
It does seem like one of their main identifying features is they tend to be rich, so I suppose that would be useful to have as a partner. Funding. Where does the RCM fit into all this?
The RCM exists under the umbrella of the coalition, just as the coalition exists under the umbrella of the moral intern.
Okay. Continue.
At the same time, the RCM is not exactly of the coalition.
What do you mean it's not of the coalition? You mean because of the décomptage? That's confusing. I'm guessing this is the thing I heard about earlier when I was speaking to Joyce and or Kim. I don't remember exactly who I was speaking to, but I believe this is because of the décomptage. I don't really remember what the décomptage is, but I do remember roughly what the origins of the RCM and their nature as a separate entity from the Merle Intern are. So I'm going to go ahead and say this one.
We are not that familiar with RCM lore and practice, but we believe that may be the case. As we recall, the décomptage originated with the Revacholian commune itself.
Okay, continue.
There is some truth to that.
The lieutenant whispers into his headset. Continue.
But in a practical sense, It's the responsibility of the ethics divisions to ensure that both organizations are working towards the same ends.
Okay. Ethics division. Sure, continue.
The Ethics Division is the branch of the RCM that coordinates activities with the Coalition. It's composed of high-ranking RCM officials and their medium-ranking moral intern counterparts. It's considered a career-making assignment for elite RCM officers.
It would have to be, yeah. Continue.
In other words, it's a fundamental part of the RCM, so you probably shouldn't ask her any questions about it.
So we have Whisper. Hey Kim, why haven't you joined the Ethics Division? So you're saying the RCM is a vestige of officials' communist past? Why bother with the RCM at all? Can't the Coalition just run everything itself? How am I supposed to whisper to Kim from up here without having it transmit directly to the warship? I feel like it's impossible, but I also don't miss any opportunity to talk to Kim, so I guess I'm going to do it.
I suppose I enjoy Kim's work too much, but surely you have more interesting things to discuss with the Coalition than my career path.
I guess, man. Continue.
Lieutenant Dubois, was there anything else?
Oh, okay, so I asked that instead of the questions that I was able to ask the warship. Whoops, okay. Well, what awaits us at the end of the road, then?
Let us answer your question with a question. Have you ever seen evening fall over the old town of Vesperashit?
Maybe? I've been forgetting things lately. No, I haven't. Advesperashit? I wish that my encyclopedia brain would speak up before I answer this question. I think it's safe to assume that I haven't. I'm going with I haven't.
The heart of the city, the old town, is a district composed of weather markets, comprising thousands of columns and arcades arranged around a series of grand plazas. During the day, it's a beautiful sight, equal to any of the great cities of Pericarnassus.
Okay, where is it, though? Continue?
But as the sun sets, the shadows cast by those columns and arcades weave together to form an intricate ombre lattice. When you see it, you suddenly understand. It was all built for you, for this very moment.
Huh. That's a heck of a monument, if so. If they actually managed to design it that way. Of course, you just could be saying whatever you feel like. Continue.
The name Advesperashit means evening comes.
Huh. Perhaps it's not a real town? I'm not sure. Built for me? Built by whom? Say nothing. Built by whom?
By thousands of people over many centuries, in keeping with a precise plan each believed in, but never expected to see the final completion of.
Continue.
Not only that, but you are also part of that centuries-long plan. When you cross one of the open plazas, your own shadows is effortlessly woven into the great lattice work, a deliberate synthesis of humanity, art, and the natural world.
Huh. Beautiful or impossible? I mean, it does sound amazing to behold, if it in fact exists. Impossible, I suppose you're calling out the fatalism of it? As if, because it seems that she's speaking of this all being sort of predetermined and inevitable. I don't know if I want to be confrontational on this particular point right now. I'm going with beautiful for now.
Yes, it is. We grew up there. We have seen the lattice with our own eyes.
Advesperashit. That's a hard word for me to pronounce, apparently. Dolores Day was crowned there, wasn't she? Oh, was that in the book? I don't remember. Okay, got it.
She was. There are even those who say that Advesperashit summoned Dolores Day. Or that it was built in preparation for her, centuries before her arrival.
Well, that does seem to be the way that you speak of the place. Continue.
That's why the old town is sometimes called the ceremonial heart of humanity.
Uh-huh. Continue.
Of course, such a city does not spring from nowhere, nor does it endure without effort. Its construction was the work of many generations, and its preservation is an equally monumental responsibility.
How much time does humanity need to achieve its potential? Or say nothing, just look around. I'm kind of inclined to do that one, despite the fact that I went all this trouble to speak to this person on Warship Archer. I feel like I trust the city more than I trust this person, but if this is an invitation for Shivers to speak up, I want to hear it, you know? But maybe it's just a wasted opportunity. I don't know. I'm trying it anyway.
The wind is pulling at the giant tarps that cover the blasted facade of the Capeside apartments.
Continue.
Air moving through what was once a row of apartments protected by walls and a roof. It sighs through the remains of bedrooms and parlors.
Continue.
This is your city. Defend it at all costs.
I'm surprised you didn't use the voice, but yeah, gotcha. Continue.
A moment of hissing static as the conversation lulls.
Continue.
Lieutenant Dubois, are you still there?
Sorry, yes, continue.
Liebling, bitte.
Oh no.
Ist unser einziges Kind.
Oh boy.
Signal's weakening. I guess you've got about 2 questions left.
And indeed we have a limit. Okay, thanks Noid, continue.
Come again? We're picking up more interference.
2 questions left, he says. So I can't do every option, but I can do all but one. So I'm going to skip. What does Revachol look like from up there? Am I? When is real democracy coming to Revachol? Is there any purpose in asking them that? Do I think it'll get anywhere productive asking them that? Is it just taking a meaningless stand that nobody can even hear, aside from the 2 below? But this is even more pointless, right? Let's do it. When is real democracy coming to Revachol?
We can assure you, it is coming as soon as possible.
In a few months then? Within a couple of years, surely. Within my lifetime? I'm going with that one because I'm not optimistic.
Oh, most likely. Though, of course, it depends on the contingencies.
And what do you mean, contingencies?
You must understand, the moral intern is responsible for ensuring the continuance and flourishing of mankind for the next 3,000 years. The planning division must account for a great many possible outcomes and chance events.
Continue.
Fortunately, we have contingency spreads to help guide our decision-making.
What does that mean?
Of course, there is no one spread that can reasonably account for all these possible events. But at least, we're able to prepare for the most likely eventualities.
Okay, wait, how do these contingency spreads actually work?
It's not really our area of expertise, but we can try to explain it. Picture a smooth hill made from fresh dirt. Now, if you stand atop this hill and pour a glass of water over it, what will happen?
The dirt will get wet. I won't have any water. The water will run down the hill. So, this is joke. This is probably the correct answer. The water will run down the hill, but you don't know which direction it'll go. That's where we're going. Do I play along or do I play dumb? This is probably not the time for it.
Precisamente. We know only that it will run down, but not what course it will take. If we place a rock in the water's path, will it divert to the left or to the right? We cannot say, but we may predict which way it might run in either event.
Sure, have predictions for every possible outcome. Continue.
That is the essence of the idea. You might also imagine these spreads as a kind of tree, with every juncture representing a different event, and every branch representing a different timeline.
You're saying the moral intern uses contingency spreads to see the future? I mean, that's a bit of a magical way of looking at it, but kind of, yeah?
Not exactly. No one can know the future. But with contingency spreads, it is possible to predict what the future realities might reasonably look like.
Good job putting in those asterisks with your voice. Continue.
But we shouldn't overstate their importance. They are simply one of many tools used by the moral intern to set policy.
Okay, so where does Revachol fit into these contingencies?
That's impossible to say. It may be that Revachol has a great role to play, or no role at all. That is the nature of contingencies.
And where does this relate to when is real democracy coming to Revachol? Continue.
But didn't the Wild Pines representative say that Revachol would resolve history?
She did say that, didn't she? Continue.
You must understand, when we speak of contingency spreads, we are talking about the most fantastically complex data visualization human beings are capable of producing, with thousands of events, from elections and wars to natural disaster or scientific miracles, and millions of possible outcomes.
That sounds really impractical to use that kind of data, but okay, continue. Ah!
It makes your brain swell just to think about it.
A pain threshold check, and I only just barely failed it. Well, fine. I guess that's okay. Continue.
It may be the case that, under certain scenarios, Revachol is vitally important, as it was during the collision landings in 08. It may also be the case, in many other equally plausible scenarios, that Revachol is simply another once great city, like countless others throughout history.
Revachol is the most important city in the world. This is where the return will happen. Look around. Yeah, this is definitely a place whose time has passed. Why does thinking about these contingencies make me feel so bad? I suppose I got that particular thing because I failed the pain threshold check? Perhaps. It's not a particularly useful direction to go with things. This is a bit conceited. But Joyce and Claudia both have voiced things to this effect, yeah? This is kind of a combination of their two sources of input. Do we want to go that way with it? On the one hand, telling the moral intern that this is where the return will happen might be a bad thing, but on the other hand, they probably don't know what the return is. Maybe.
Perhaps not. The world is full of great cities that have resolved the questions of their time. La Chère, Brelfort, our own home of Advesterachit.
Oh, so that's your home city. I guess that makes sense, given that it's where Dolores Day was crowned. Sure, continue.
All major cities in EPIS-aligned nations. You can't help but notice.
Uh-huh. Continue.
It's even possible the cities that will resolve the questions of the future have not been founded yet.
Got it. Continued.
For this reason, responsibility for developing contingency spreads is only assigned to highly trained analysts working with advanced radio computers and a steady supply of drones.
I have no idea what Dramamine is, but okay. Okay, but I still want to know when real democracy is coming. I mean, yeah, you're just going to beat around the bush some more if I say that. How do I access my personal contingency spread? I feel like they probably aren't concerned with the fate of individuals, at least on my level of existence. Enough of this. I have another question. I'm going to go ahead and call it out. I still want to know.
Of course. While the content of individual contingency spreads is deeply classified, many degrees beyond our access, everything we have heard from the Provisional Commission indicates that the transition is proceeding according to the appropriate timetable.
Wow, that didn't mean a thing. Proceeding according to the appropriate timetable. So you're satisfied with how things are proceeding, but that doesn't answer my question whatsoever. Does that mean democracy is here? Look around. But what if some people want democracy to come faster? I'm going with this one.
Well, not yet. Right now, it's more like a simple seed, buried out of sight.
What are you talking about? I met a gardener earlier, but then she turned out to be a lawyer. Is she involved somehow? That's the dumb option, but I kind of want to say it anyway.
Gardeners and lawyers are both essential to a beautiful and well-functioning society, but we are referring to something else.
Okay, continue.
The first phase of democratization.
And that is?
Soon, the people at Revachol will vote for slates of candidates who will make up the Transitional Advisory Council that will oversee the second phase of democratization.
Right, but soon. When is soon? What's this Transitional Advisory Council? Who picks the slates of candidates? How many of these phases are there until we have real democracy? Okay, Transitional Advisory Council.
The council is modeled after similar bodies developed in a number of transitional democracies. Its role is to devise and shape the future institutions of Revacholian democracy, according to local conditions.
Okay, continue.
Local conditions, in this case, referring to incompetence, graft, and violence.
That seems like a safe bet, Rhetoric. Continue.
Once elected, council members will even have the opportunity to join one of several officially sanctioned political wings, depending on their ideological beliefs and policy preferences.
Okay. What do these wings represent?
A very important question. The wings are carefully selected to represent a wide spectrum of political thought.
Continue.
Typically, there's a liberal technocratic wing, a social democratic wing, and even a conservative populist wing. You wouldn't believe some of the ideas they express, but a vibrant and free political culture requires that all perspectives be given voice, even those many may find objectionable.
Uh-huh. So who picks the slates of candidates, then?
In most cases, the Provisional Council selects them from a cross-section of the local population to ensure the slates actually reflect the people they represent.
Provided you can trust the Provisional Council, sure. Continue.
Of course, such a situation is not ideal. We would all prefer for Revacholians to nominate the representatives directly. But that is why it's a transitional council.
If you'd all prefer that, then why don't you just do it? How many of these phases are there until we have real democracy?
Our best theoreticians believe that 3 to 5 phases are appropriate for states that lack strong democratic tradition, which would certainly apply to Revachol.
Right, we had a king up until not too long ago. Well, I guess not too long ago. Continue.
But we must stress that real democracy is an ongoing process and not simply an outcome. It must be cultivated and preserved if it is to endure.
Like the city of, you just had to make me read it again, Advesperasit, you mean?
Exactamente.
This is it. Final question time. I can already feel our alignment getting shaky.
So this is the big one. Continue.
Is everything alright? We lost the connection for a moment.
Okay, final question time. Listen, I really need to reach the Committee of Responsibility. Proceed.
Acknowledged. To reach the committee, all you need to do is fill out the appropriate request form and submit it to the Liaison for Public Affairs.
All I need to do is that. Sure. How do I get the forms? Where's the liaison? I need way more information. Continue.
If the liaison accepts your request, you will be invited to address the committee at their next quarterly public hearing. We believe the next hearing is scheduled for July.
She seems very satisfied by this answer. What if I need to reach the committee a bit sooner? Actually, I was hoping you could patch me through to the committee directly. Empathy Heroic 15. Convince her you need to address the committee. +2, clean and sober. +2, discover a strange anomaly. -1, history of prank calls. Oh boy. I did make some prank calls, I guess. I'm not sure how that's relevant here, but apparently, yeah. I got you. Okay, what if I need to reach the committee sooner?
Not a problem. If this is a time-sensitive matter, you may file an emergency address request with the Liaison for Public Affairs.
Right, but who is that? Continue.
They typically respond within a few weeks.
Isn't that great? That did nothing. I was hoping you could patch me through directly. I'm sure that won't happen, but let's go ahead and float it.
We're afraid that is quite impossible, Lieutenant Dubois.
What do you mean?
We cannot transfer you to the committee because we are not entrusted with that responsibility. We are simply the second signal.
Listen, I'm begging you, please just let me through. I get it, so the real power is even higher up. I believe that that's the answer here.
That is the nature of the command pyramid, yes.
Yeah.
Most modern organizations work in a similar way, even the FCM.
I have no doubt that's true. Continue.
You're getting out-tangled by the big bad. Time to try something else.
Well, there's only one thing to try, and I've only got a 3 out of 4 chance to succeed, but all I can do is try. Convince her you need to address the committee.
This isn't about you. Not really. It may have been at a certain point, but you've let go of that perspective. This is about your responsibility to all of Revachol.
Particularly given that it has chosen to start speaking directly to my brain. Continue.
Now, take a deep breath. Look upward. You don't have to bear the burden alone.
Wow, this is important. Listen to me. The situation in Martinez is a powder keg. If the Coalition doesn't intervene, many people will die. I'm actually asking the local representatives of the Moral Intern to intervene directly. Which is to say, I'm basically counting on not being able to solve the case? But this is a success. A success is not always a good thing in this game. There's no other choice. Let's move forward with it.
What? How do you know this?
I've uncovered things in the course of my investigation that lead me to believe we're headed to a violent confrontation between the Union and the Wild Pines. Things are really bad down here. Like, really bad. Damn it, there's no time to explain. You better write this down. There's been so much time to discuss. Seems that every question takes as much time as is necessary for it to take. I'm going with the first option.
Lieutenant Dubois, this is a very serious claim. Please describe the situation as succinctly as possible. We will forward your summary to the committee.
Okay, continue.
There's papers rustling in the background. She's clearing her desk, preparing to take notes.
And probably wondering what we've been talking about for the past almost an hour. Continue.
There. You've wedged your foot in the door. Now, if you could show the Coalition how much they're needed, they'll have no choice but to intervene.
Okay, continue.
You have the facts. Just lay them out beneath the cold light of reason.
That sounds good to me. The Wild Pines has recently lost control of a paramilitary death squad called Krennel. For one, the Wild Pines has been completely shut out of the strike negotiations. I haven't worked out the details yet, but there's something weird going on with Wild Pines. Okay. Okay. This is true. This is true. This makes the Wild Pines look incompetent. This makes the Union look uncooperative. This makes me look incompetent, rather. But let's be real here. The main problem is Krennel. It's the two remaining members of the local representatives of Krennel. So I'm starting here.
Please continue. We're listening.
You can hear her furiously scribbling notes. I've also uncovered evidence the Union may be orchestrating a takeover of a local fishing village. And, well, the Union's demand for worker control of corporate boards seems completely unworkable. Okay, hang on. Okay, so they lost control of the death squad. The Union's demands are unworkable by design. Every member on the board is entirely impossible. The takeover of the local fishing village, is that relevant? I don't think it is. We're going with facts. This is a fact.
Was there anything else the committee should know?
If she's writing, you can't hear anything. Okay.
Detective, before you answer that, I urge you to weigh your words extremely carefully.
I always do, Kim, but thank you.
The lieutenant is afraid you're going to say something too outre.
Now that you mention it, I learned something very strange about the victim in my murder investigation. Yes, I've also discovered an intraplanetic phenomenon here in Martinez. No, those are the facts as I have them. He doesn't want me to mention this is what it is, huh? Okay, something very strange about the victim in the murder investigation. So, is there something very strange about the murder victim? I mean, he's been double murdered, but that's the whole point of what my investigation is going into. It's being covered up by the Union, yes. Presumably they're covering for Ruby, who I haven't met or spoken to yet. Is that relevant? Something very strange about the victim. Oh boy, okay, the intraplanetic phenomenon may be relevant, provided they believe in that sort of thing. But I feel like in a world with the Pale, you sort of have to... I feel like I chose wrong with the corporate board's demands and whatnot. But I don't know. I don't know what I'm referring to with the very strange thing about the victim in my murder investigation. I feel like... Intraplanetic phenomenon. Because, I mean, the very strange thing about the victim in my murder investigation may very well be that I had a conversation with him by talking to my primordial lizard brain, you know? In which case, then we're talking crazy and we're wasting time. Or it might just be that it's the true nature of their death is being covered up by the Union, which is the... It's kind of the crux of the whole problem between the Union and the... But because I'm being so vague in the wording, I don't know if that's the right way to go. Obviously, we're not doing no, those are the facts as I have them. That's not enough. It's not enough. The intraplanetic phenomenon might convince them, provided they understand what I'm talking about. But it also might just convince them that Martinez is a lost cause. I wish I had any idea what the very strange thing about the victim in my murder investigation is. But I don't think I'll get the opportunity to do both, and I'm wasting so much time thinking about it. Is there a way to... There's not. Okay. So I was thinking, right? When I did that empathy check earlier, one of the things that it mentioned specifically was having observed the anomaly, right? The phenomenon, the intraplanetic phenomenon. That gave me a +2 bonus to even getting this far. Maybe that is what I need to go with? Because this is too vague. I don't know where it's going to go with it, and that usually is a trap, right? If you don't know where he's going with it, it's probably somewhere stupid. Yeah, I'm going with the entropanetic phenomenon, and we'll see if it works.
We're afraid we must ask you to repeat that, Lieutenant Dubois.
That's not a good start. Continue.
Afraid? What is she afraid of?
I don't think it's that kind of afraid, Inland Empire. You just need to calm down for a second.
Her tone has shifted. She's no longer herself.
What does that mean? Continue?
She's reading from a script. Your words have activated some sort of procedure.
Oh. They already know. I said I've discovered an intraplanetic phenomenon here in Martinez. Wait, what's going on? Do we go with wait, what's going on? If they already know about the intraplanetic anomalies, phenomena, then there is no way I'm convincing them to intervene, right? Do we signal that we've noticed a shift in tone? Is there anything that'll possibly make a difference at this point? Do we just push through? She's reading from a script. Your words have activated some sort of procedure. If she's going off of a script, then me asking about it isn't going to serve any purpose, is it? Because I feel like once you're in that particular sort of mode, if you're a particular person that answers phones, then nothing the other person says at that point is going to break you out of that. But maybe I'm reading too much into it. Of course I am, I always do. The empathy check was an automatic success. By just making that check up above, I passed this. Which suggests that both these options would be available no matter what. Don't get distracted then. It starts with wait, but it's the second option, which suggests that it's not actually one of those ones where it circles back to the same point. Normally, if there's a actually come back to the same point, it's the first one in the list. Again, maybe I'm metagaming too much, but I'm just gonna push it on. I've discovered an intrakinetic phenomenon here in Martinez.
Acknowledge. Listen very carefully, Lieutenant. We're going to ask you a series of questions. It is imperative that you answer as directly and truthfully as you can. Do you understand?
Yes.
Good. First question. Are you currently in the vicinity of Surragli, the North Arcade Islands, or near Pale Offshore Platform in Sul Indico?
I've never heard of any of those places, or know I'm in Martinez. Well, this isn't a good place to... If we're trying to convince her of our reliability in this particular regard, then no, I'm in Martinez.
Very good. Next question. Would you describe the phenomenon as internal to the Isola or external to the Isola?
How am I supposed to answer that question? Continue.
What she means is, actually, you have no idea what those words could mean in this context.
I have failed this check by 7, so there's really no way to do that unless you build yourself around this. It's a passive. I would have to be dressed for it, I would have to be skilled into it. Internal, external, I have no idea what you're asking. Internal to the Isola, external to the Isola. I don't know that I have a way to accurately answer that without knowing. Like, okay, maybe what she's suggesting is if she knows the connection between intrakinetic phenomena and the Pale, then is she asking if I suspect that it's going to... Well, no, she's asking where it's coming from. From outside the Isola or within the Isola. But that would suggest that I know where the origin of the Pale is, and I don't, which suggests that you need to pass the conceptualization check that's impossible. Not impossible, but very, very difficult. And that would give you a fourth option, probably. So perhaps it's best to just go with I have no idea what you're asking? It's not going to inspire confidence in my judgment, but like, either one of these could backfire if I'm wrong. Particularly if I say internal, right? And that means it's not going to affect the world outside the Isola, they might just cut off from us. If I say external... I have no idea what you're asking.
Answer the question, please.
She doesn't care that I don't understand the question. Internal to the Isola or external to the Isola? Starting within the Isola and affecting it. Starting from outside the Isola and affecting it. If I think that it's a point of the Pale, then it's coming from somewhere else. And the Pale is elsewhere as well as here. So, external? External.
Next question. At the time, did you experience sense objects?
Can you elaborate, please? What are sense objects?
Yes. Examples may include sound, memory, light.
I can only describe it in terms of curdling milk. When the raver put the compressor through the other thing, it made the beat really hardcore, like too hardcore. Okay, we don't do that one. We don't do that one. I experienced nothing, a complete lack of phenomena. Okay, so this is what we experienced before we detected the actual core of it, which is this. But if I mention that, she's probably going to cut off this conversation right now. Sound memory light. That's not a very helpful elaboration, but I suspect it's not supposed to be a particularly helpful elaboration, huh? Curdling milk? It's not just nothing. There was something there. The something that was there was the real problem. If it was just the swallow, there would be no point in reporting this to Archer. Curdling milk?
Let's go on. Final question. Were you alone?
Continue.
There's no need to overthink this.
We repeat. Were you alone?
No, I wasn't.
You hear the sound of a page ripping.
Really? Continue.
Thank you, Lieutenant. Please stand by while we transmit our summary.
Continue?
A long winter.
Kim's back. The call's over, isn't it?
Signals are starting to misalign. Not sure how much longer I can hold them together.
You have to, Noid. Just a little longer, come on. Continue? It's over, isn't it? It's over. It's over, isn't it?
Lieutenant Dubois.
Huh?
This is Collision Warship Archer. Please acknowledge.
Yes, I'm here. Archer, I can't hold on much longer. Yes, hello.
Thank you for standing by. We are authorized to report the Committee of Responsibility for Rebasho has acknowledged and accepted your request.
They accepted. They're going to intervene? What did I request? Continue.
They would like you to address your matter to the committee directly, as their earliest convenience.
When is that? Just tell me where to meet them. When is that? I'm kind of in the middle of a murder investigation. I mean, I was the one who decided to want to talk to them immediately, right? When is that?
Subito. Collision Shuttle Laurel is setting a course for your position.
My position?
They will arrive momentarily. Stand by.
What? Continue.
Snow again. It collects between the Bronze Horse's ears, along the bridge of the Bronze King's nose, and on the backs of your gloves.
Okay. Continue.
No way! Big Ben's coming here!
They sure are. Continue.
The lieutenant adjusts his microphone and slowly looks up toward you.
Continue.
Well, what now?
What do you mean? I guess we wait. My brain isn't working at the moment. What do you mean?
You've accomplished your side task. You've contacted Coalition Warship Archer. I suppose what I'm asking
Continue?
is whether we are about to lose you to the moral intern.
Kim, have you ever considered that maybe our case isn't that important? Kim, I'm tired of feeling like I don't have any normal, reasonable options, but I'm afraid, Kim. Are they actually going to just take me onto the warship and is that it? Huh? Where do we go with this? Have you ever considered that maybe our case isn't that important? Well, they not only knew about the entropinetic phenomena, but they also had like a standardized answer for if someone brings it up. And now they're about to spirit me away, potentially? Which is terrifying. Have you ever considered that maybe your case isn't that important? I am tired of feeling like I don't have any normal, reasonable options, I guess. It does make the game more interesting, but things are pretty bonkers in here. I am afraid, but I'm not sure if that's... I want to do all of these, but also if they're heading here right now, I may not have that much time. I'm gonna do the normal, reasonable one.
What options? What in God's name are you talking about, Detective?
Everything is so messy down there. It's much nicer up here. Haven't you noticed that things have only gotten weirder the longer we've been on this case? They have, yes.
The lieutenant takes a moment to compose his thoughts.
Continue.
I don't know where this case will lead us, Detective. But in a sense, that doesn't matter. Our job is to follow the evidence where it leads. Consequences be damned.
Uh-huh. Continue.
Because that's what it means to be an officer of the RCM.
Okay, fair point. Continue.
The lieutenant's final words are nearly swallowed by the roar of the aerostatic's main rotors.
Oh, they're here. Continue.
Lieutenant Dubois, this is Collision Warship Archer. We have been instructed to inform you that the Laurel arrived at your position. Please acknowledge.
Continue.
No shit. How are they supposed to hear your acknowledgement over the thundering of their own rotors?
I'm surprised the connection's still holding also. Particularly given the aerostatic is going to disrupt all this equipment we've set up, I would imagine. Acknowledged, Archer, this is Lieutenant Dubois, and they have a spotlight on me directly.
Thank you. The Committee of Responsibility for Revachol has authorized us to offer you an immediate extraction. Do you accept?
Extraction? Extraction? Can I ask a few questions first?
We are far past that point, Lieutenant. There is only one question now. Are you ready, or are you not?
I assume this is a game over condition, right? If I leave Revachol, the case is over. I guess this is what I was technically asking for, sure, but they're not intervening on the behalf of Martinez. They're just taking me away? Look around one last time? Stall by whatever means necessary?
The roundabout, Martinez North, daytime. Across the plaza, a pair of seagulls fight over the remains of a chicken wing.
Uh-huh. Okay. Continue.
The speed freak eyes you with a curious blend of awe and contempt.
Yeah, that seems about right. Continue.
He's torn. There's nothing more softcore than the Coalition, according to his worldview. And yet, having summoned an aerostatic with your voice is one of the most hardcore feats imaginable.
Continue.
The lieutenant looks up toward you. He starts to open his mouth, then appears to think better of it.
Continue.
You cannot leave. So much hangs in the balance.
Okay. Thank you, Shivers. Okay. That's what I needed. I needed advice. That's what I needed. Okay, good. Yes, the city says don't leave. I'm not leaving. If I can convince them to not take me, I'm not leaving. I accept, Archer. Get me out of here aboard the aerostatic. I can't do it back out. Are they even going to let me back out? At this point, are they even going to let me back out? I'm going to try. I'm going to try to back away.
Repeat that, Lieutenant. What do you mean, you can't? Are you being impeded in some way?
It's my case. I've got to see it through. It's Kim, my partner. I can't abandon him. There's still some personal business I have to sort out. It's not personal business. I mean, it is personal, but it's also my job. It's... I gotta see the case through. right? Like, there's also that I can't abandon Kim, but it's like they're not going to be convinced by that, and he's not going to be impressed by the fact that I bring it up. Probably. Maybe. I gotta see the case through.
We have to say, this is extremely disappointing to hear, Lieutenant.
Continue?
What the consequences will be for your refusal to accept responsibility, we cannot say. For your sake, we pray they are not more than we all can bear.
My refusal to accept responsibility? What do you mean? Continue?
And now, we are updating our frequencies. We will not speak again. This connection will be cleared in 4, 3...
I'm sorry, Archer. Wait, say, I'll change my say nothing. I guess, sorry, cop it up. I'm sorry, Archer.
2, 1... Après le monde, le gris.
After the world, the pale. After the... Okay, admittedly, that is DeLoreanism, right? That's a phrase from a DeLoreanism, so that's not too remarkable, but like... Huh. It's a heck of a thing mentioning that right now. Also, I can't help but notice that the aerostatic is just gone. Vanished as if I willed it away. Continue.
And the line goes quiet.
Continue?
The lieutenant gives a long sigh as he removes his headphones. There's relief on his face as he turns toward you.
Continue?
I think it's best for you to climb off the statue now, Detective. Your real work is done here.
Yeah, I guess. Just give me a minute, or climb down immediately. Is there something else to see up here? Give me a minute.
The sun-warmed bronze tingles beneath your fingertips and between your thighs.
But I'm wearing
Your
gloves.
legs have grown stiff. You've been up here quite a while.
I suppose, yeah. Continue.
You look around. The strikebreakers are still shouting their slogans and waving their hand-painted signs. Beneath you, the lieutenant and the speed freak have begun disconnecting a few cables.
Continue.
There's really no point. You're beginning to feel like the little child who refuses to come down off the carousel.
I failed that by one. The one damage that I took for climbing up here in an uncool fashion. That's frustrating, but okay. I wonder if it would have made a particular difference if I had succeeded. Either way, apparently it's time to climb down.
About time. You grab that amp. Forget the cables. Need to leave some evidence of our antenna to inspire future generations.
Sure, continue.
What's one more trip across the waterlock?
Committee of La Responsabilité. Someone should do something about this. I got an achievement. But I didn't do something about this. I mean, I tried to do something about this, but they wanted me to take personal responsibility, which is, I guess, what I was asking for, isn't it? And then I was like, nah. Oh well. Continue.
Well, cop man, we've repaid the favour. This is cements the cop hardcore alliance.
I guess so. Continue.
Yeah, we are cops now.
Yeah, sure. We're all cops now. Great. We could probably use the manpower. Continue.
Easy, Ed. We're still hardcore music venue organisers, first and foremost, but maybe this does make us pillars of the local community.
Yeah, sure. Why not? You're trying to do something about all this anyway, which is more than a lot of people can say. I would never let my hardcore brothers down, or it's been good working with you, gentlemen. Hardcore brothers?
Sure. You have to say that now. It's all right.
What do you mean by that, Noid? You have to say that now. Huh, continue.
I'll put this tech away later. Think there's an extra can set, in case you want to grab a souvenir or something. Don't think anyone will miss it.
I guess. I can't help but notice that Egg turned the music back up while I was gone, huh? Alright, and... Cool, great. Did you have anything else to say, Noid?
Yo, man. What's on your mind?
Nothing, okay. Souvenir, though? Hang on. Oh, hey, there's a... Okay. specialist grade headset. +2 Inland Empire, -1 reaction speed. Okay. Okay, sure, I guess. Inland Empire seems good. Got it. Let's have a look at that real quick. Where are you? There you are. A giant pair of cans to keep you safe from the world. This particular set seems to have changed hands several times. May become sweaty after extended use. What, actually? Does that make a difference? I wonder if it degrades the stats if you do keep it on too long. +2 Inland Empire in your own head. -1 reaction speed. Say that again? I mean, yeah, that makes sense. It's hard to hear out of those things. I can vouch for that. Okay, cool. I got that. Guess I'll keep that in mind if I need Inland Empire for various reasons. Egg, you got anything else?
Good morning!
Nope. Okay. Good. Andre? Not Angus?
Oh, hey, man. It's good
Nope.
Goodbye, officer.
Okay. I guess I'll check in with Acel and Sona as well, because... I still love that happened. Okay, that's it for now. That's it. Because I think this is...
Yes, what is it?
Yeah. This is farewell to the church. We're done in here. After several days of work, we're done in here. I did not manage to accept the responsibility, but it would have ended the game, I'm pretty sure. Maybe I should have just chosen it and seen what the ending was. I don't know, maybe. But I'd be betraying Kim and the city. And Shivers knows what it's talking about, usually. Usually they're pretty trustworthy on this sort of thing, so... Yeah, I guess that's all right. Oh, and I did get another skill point. Look at that. We made it, just barely. All right. Okay, cool. Well, the list is getting quite short. Ask about Ruby in the village. Maybe that's what I need to start doing next. That is the next major task. I've completed the bulk of my side stuff. Determining where the shot came from. I tried to. I couldn't find anything. I don't know if I should wander around again, but maybe. Offering figures to Dolores Day is, of course, ludicrous. I have no idea how that will ever resolve, if anything. What's the race enigma? I don't really feel like pursuing. Find smokes and smoke them? I don't really feel like pursuing. Buy fallen pants from Kuno? I did not make the empathy check. I do have the gear for it. It may be worth throwing a point into empathy and then seeing if I can do it again. One last try. Plus, I mean, empathy isn't a bad thing to have in general, but I gotta be really careful with my skill points because there aren't that many left at this point. And find the murder weapon. I suspect that's find Ruby. I mean, maybe I'm putting too much weight on this theory I've got that she's the one who did it, but a lot of things seems to be pointing that direction, in which case she's probably got the murder weapon. Particularly if she's aware that the guy that she killed, if she did kill him, has a team of 2 more people. And she's probably going to need to defend herself against them sooner or later if they figure out as much as I have. But I don't know if they do know that. Or if they're just going to be like, it's Titus and his gang, get him! And just start murdering people, which is what we're worried about. And theoretically why I contacted the moral intern. I mean, they accepted my request, but they just wanted to take me out of the city. Like, I guess they wanted... My request was to meet with the committee of the responsibility, and they were accepting that request. But I would never have come back from it, yeah? Plus, I gotta wonder what the aerostatics pilot was thinking, seeing me... in my leggings and my trench coat and my froggy visor, standing on top of the statue. Maybe it would have been interesting to find out, but I'm pretty sure that's a game over condition, so I guess it's fine. I guess we're good here. Anyway, I gotta end the episode. Sorry, I'm a little bit staggered. Thank you for watching. I guess, unless I think of something else that needs doing, next time we'll start really pursuing finding Ruby. Yeah, I guess. Anyway, thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.